Hey, what's up? It's Ward Wrestling here. Got a surprise show. Uh,
How's it going?
good. Got Jabari Irons back on. We spoke to him a couple weeks ago. Well, he was out at the Beach Worlds and competed for the trials. I guess it's the Beach World Trials, right?
Trials, yes, sir.
Yeah. So Beach World Trials, and he ended up taking home the gold medal there and advancing to. I guess we'll find out what's next. Jabari, what's going
Yes,
on,
sir.
man?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Crazy stories. Bunch of unexpected events. Just stuck to the fundamentals and ended up walking away with a goal. So
Yeah, it was
got some
awesome,
things
and
to
to
catch
see two Florida kids. I mean, kids now. You guys are adults,
up.
but with you and Jamal on the
Yes,
podium,
sir.
and you got first, you got third, and Jamal, good for him, man. I know he got on the front side. He took an L, but he ended up redeeming himself on the backside and beating that same guy and being able to get up on
Yes,
there. But
sir.
I saw you showing some little clips of how you do that little flip around and things like that. But man,
Oh,
so
yes, sir.
I was talking about beach wrestling the other day. It seems like it's really taken a life of its own.
Yes, sir. I think it's the newest emerging sport. We were supposed to be a national demonstration sport this year for the 2024 Olympics, and I was doing my best to try to be that front runner, keep the content coming. I had took over a year off, so I wasn't in the trials last year. And so when Barbados gave me the opportunity to go and compete, I said, this is exactly what I need to like get back in the front and make headlines again. So when I took that gold in Barbados, I was like, I know I'm going to be a shoe-in for it. And then the vote came too late. So then we're still not in the Olympics yet. But this upcoming cycle, we should be, but we still have our World Series coming up. So this past weekend in North Carolina, I ended up taking a gold medal. So I'm back on a team. Right now, I have a few events, a few fundraisers, and some camps to help raise the money. We also have a GoFundMe going so I can get to those events. I've beaten quite a few people in the world now, and I know I can get a top. My goal is um, top two finish. Yes, sir.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Good for you. And I know so all three of you guys, if you made the podium, you're on the team, right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So I know you and Jamal traveled together last time you guys went through this. So are you guys back at it again? Good for you guys. That's awesome.
Sir.
But you know, wouldn't it be cool if you guys? I mean, you two are always on the sand. We always see you guys competing. You both had a great cycle last time.
Yes, sir.
Have you guys talked about we should do? You know, everybody's got an indoor club. You
Yes.
guys are in Florida. Have you guys ever talked about why don't we start having a beach club and starting to get these kids coming out and having fun, maybe doing a little stuff during the summer. You know, I know people are they're focused on Greco and freestyle and doing that, but you know, if the sport's emerging and it's going to build, like you
Yes.
guys always
Yes.
say, you need to start a youth club, right? Have you guys
Yep.
ever talked about that? Like, hey, we should do something like this.
So I have, and I've talked to all of my world teammates, and the only one who I have worked with one-on-one was Jamal about 2 years ago. Right after we got back from Romania, I think it was a couple months after, I had Jamal come down for a three-session camp that I had. So I had Jamal down here. I think he did one session and had to go back to Miami. And had a camp later that day, and then I finished off the camp. So we work together. We have great chemistry. He's a proven clinician. It's just, man, a lot of these other clinicians, when we plan, it's just planning. And typically the way it works is we'll talk about it and they'll say, yeah, I'm in. And then I say, okay, let's shoot for this date. And then time comes and then I hear nothing. And then whenever I do the event, they say, well, why didn't you invite me? I already did. Like I already did. But
Yeah, because it would be
Jamal,
cool to see these like little beach things going on. Especially, you know, you guys live in a coastal state, right?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
That'd
So
be fun.
we've been talking, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on it. Even one of the guys for the beach delegation came up to me. He said, "You ever thought about, doing this?" And I said, "I always think about it." So I think it's now's the time. Now's the time to do it. Jamal's only like an hour and a half away, so
Well, and I
we'll do
just,
something.
because I got to experience the trial thing in Puerto Rico, so I've never been involved. I've
Mm,
never been at the U.S. trial here, but I know that with the kids that go to Panama, I'm not Panama, but the Pan American Championships this year for the U20 Peru. The one is in Dominican Republic, one is in Colombia, and they're going everywhere, right? But
mhm.
they have one of the days where they offer beach wrestling now.
Wow,
Uh, so like
I didn't even know that.
they were saying to the kids, I'm learning. I saw the schedule, and they offer on the last day of the Pan Am Championships, they offer beach wrestling, and there's not a qualification to get to that. If you made the Greco or freestyle team, you can go and have fun and try it out and compete there. And I think they're starting to obviously try to build that and get involved. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you hear mixed emotion because kids are down there for the purpose of getting
Right,
that
and doing it
freestyle or
after, I
Grec
would
or
agree on.
yeah, because you don't want kids to get hurt. You don't want them to get injured. You don't want them
Right,
to and with
right.
the sand, I'm sure, and that's one thing. It's got to be different moving on the sand than it is on the mat,
It
right?
is so tough. It is so tough. I would say that the footwork and positioning is more close to freestyle and Greco. Folk style we're really front foot heavy in folk style. Freestyle and Greco were very back foot heavy because you don't want to get pushed back. Especially in Greco, if you go back at all, it's considered stalling. There's no going backwards, it's only forwards and circling. So with beach, you have to be back foot heavy because if you're front foot heavy and someone snaps your head, now you're falling forward and your feet digs under the sand. So when you try to lift your sand, you're tripping on sand. So you're pretty much like taking yourself down. And before the Worlds 2 years ago, I didn't have any practices in the sand. I probably not like hands-on. I didn't have any partners. So I probably had one or two practices, by myself, and I was on the mat a lot, but like I couldn't really find sand access or people to come train with me on the sand. So when I actually started wrestling in the sand, when you guys are both pushing, now your feet are digging holes in the ground. So then when they snap you, you're getting caught under the sand. Not only that, but when we go to out of the country, they're importing sand to the beach. So now you're wrestling in a foot of sand. So you're really having to learn to stay back foot heavy and anchored in, and then you're having to pick your feet up as you're walking. So it's extremely tough. It's extremely
And
tough.
explain for us novices how
Mhm.
the scoring works in the beach wrestling. I see you guys out there, but I've never. I mean, I kind of I see you push out or you get a point or you take down, but
Yes, sir.
I have absolutely no clue. So
Yes, sir.
educate
So
me.
So it is a lot. I feel it is the most simplistic style of wrestling. It's the first person at 3 points. Everybody can count to three. Okay. Push outs, 1 point. Takedowns to a knee, elbow, or head, 1 point. The other is a dynamic throw, 3 points, where you expose their back or you plant them directly on the mat or on the sand. Those are the only ways to score. A dynamic throw, plant them on their back in the throw, or it's such a high flying throw, maybe you suplex them and they land right back on their knees. They'll more than likely give you 3 points. Push outs or takedowns. There's only 3 ways to score. Everything's 1 point besides dynamic throws. It's very simple.
That's like hanging out at the beach with your buddies in high school and just screwing around. You could
Exactly.
you go that's cool. So push out 1 point, uh,
Hmm.
to your knee, elbow, or head touches the sand 1 point, and
Yep.
dynamic move 1 point, or
Yes.
put to your back one. I mean, dynamic move three
Three.
points,
Three. Yes.
put to your back three.
Yep.
So if you're a Greco guy your whole life, man, that's got to be a really good transition for you.
Greco athletes are the biggest front runners of this sport. Like Bulgaria, Azerbaijan, and Romania, the Romania team. Like they were only Greco wrestlers, and they were out there killing everybody.
Yeah, I
Russian
can
ties and underhooks. That's all you
imagine.
saw. Russian ties and underhooks.
So at the level that you guys are at with you and Jamal and all those guys, is there qualifications right now, or is it more we're trying to get people into the sport, so just come and sign up and wrestle, and or
Yes.
is there levels now?
So this was the qualification, the Beach US Open that just ended in North Carolina. Has been going on for years. This is my second time competing. There's one more that's going to be in California, Huntington Beach, California, and that's going to be at the end of August. If I'm not mistaken, it's August 28th. August 28th through the 30th is one of those days. It should be the Saturday. That is the last qualification to be able to make the world team. Now they can take top three from each of these events. So in total, we should be able to take, I want to say 6 to 8 per weight class. And we're the only sport that isn't fully funded. Depending on what countries we go to, the delegation finds money, and depending on what you're ranked and, if they find value in you as an athlete. And all of these other countries, their freestyle and Greco team is the beach team. Like their Olympic and world freestyle and Greco team is their beach team. They're fully funded. So they're taking about 6 to 8, 10 guys per weight class. And those guys are out there in the finals wrestling each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
find yourself sometimes just wanting to watch those matches, huh?
Yeah, it's insane because you got guys like Huda out of India. You got guys Petrasvili from Republic of Georgia. You got guys Nika Kinchadze, who's like a 5-time Republic of Georgia freestyler. So all of these guys, like we see them on Flow Wrestling, we see them on the UWW site, and then to see them in person wrestling beach wrestling, I'm just like, this is kind of unfair because you're an Olympian, but at the same time, hey, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I always welcome them with open arms.
Yeah, and it's obviously a totally different style, right? I mean, they can't,
Yes.
they're not shooting blast doubles, they're not getting underhooks,
Yeah.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's more of, yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. Well, I mean,
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you reached out and came on because I really was interested to learn about all that and
Yes,
kind of
sir.
see what you did. I mean, congratulations to you, and uh,
Yes, sir.
that's super awesome. Yeah, and I think we're going to hear from you a lot more at that sport, huh?
Yes, sir. And it's insane, man. I got told 3 weeks before the tournament that I had to be there. And I was only working out, not very hard, but I was staying active. And then 3 weeks before, something just told me, give Ed Duncan a call. He's on the delegation. I said, hey Ed, I said, I'm grandfathered in, right? I said, I just won the Barbados Open. I had that 1 point match with a 2-time world team, world All-American with he's also an Olympian now, Yuri Casablanca from Cuba. And I said, I beat all those world guys. I said, I'm grandfathered in, right? He says, well, Jabari, it's been 2 years since you went to the Open. So no, you need to be at Carolina Beach and 3 weeks before. And I said, wow, I had one practice in 2 years on the beach. And I went and I only got scored on twice. And I beat a D1 All-American who was Jordan Burroughs and James Green practice partner. He went to App State, Justin Trotman, I think was his name. I beat also a 2-time Greco World Team member as well. I forget his name. Last name Zaletsky. He had some Maryland shorts on, like University of Maryland. So I beat some pretty good guys. Jamal was in my weight class, who's like a 2-time D1 qualifier. So the weight class was pretty stacked, man, in one practice. So I just kept fundamentals. I wrestled like a T-Rex, elbows in, and whenever I saw opportunity, I scored, and it all worked out.
Yeah, good for you, man. Congratulations, and
Thank you.
Now you know
Thank
you're welcome on here anytime.
you. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.
No problem, sir.